What's up, guys? Black Tuesday, episode 1, and black just means serious. It's not like, what up, my nigga, we black. It's black is serious, guys. But today I want to talk to you about my life. Kind of like a draw my life, but I can't draw and I don't have a good enough HD camera right now to do it. Um, so I'm doing a kind of like a Black Tuesday draw my life hybrid thing. And actually, let's just jump right into it. Oh, before that, this series is going to be replacing Tech Tuesday. I was trying to make a tech review today, and I just wasn't feeling it. I knew if I wasn't having fun with it, that it wasn't going to be good for you guys. So I decided instead I'll start a real talk series because I actually kind of enjoy, sitting down having a discussion with myself. Um, that sounds really weird, but anyway, let's get started. I was born March 13th, 1997. I'm 16 years old. Um, and I was born to parents who were not married, and I was an accident. So, my dad, right from when I was born, showed signs of not being fully committed to having a child, and I saw him, I think, about once every other week from when I was like 2 to 5, and then I started seeing him once a month from 5 to 6, and then on my 6th birthday, um, I went to his house, and he told me that one, he didn't give me a Christmas gift. That's messed up, Dad. But two, he told me he never wanted to see me again, and that I was never allowed to come to his house. Um, and that was pretty hard to hear. It's never fun hearing your dad say, I don't love you, and I don't want you to ever see me again. I don't want to ever talk to you again. And that devastated me, but I had a plan. I actually left my favorite RC truck, remote control truck, there at his house, and I was like, all right, now he's gonna realize I have that, and he's gonna either have to bring it to me and talk to me, or I'm gonna have to go to him. I'm a genius. That didn't work out. He actually rang the doorbell and just walked away, and there was my truck laying smashed in a box. Um, so that was a pretty strong message, and that sucked. I didn't really fully grasp what that meant. Um, until a few years later. So I had, but that doesn't mean I had like a good few years between then. Like, um, I'm my mom, I think, was just desperate for me to get a father figure because every boy deserves one, and every boy needs one to figure out what how he needs to be. Like, um, so there was in the few years there was probably 7 or 8 different guys, and they were those kind of guys that seemed really nice at first, but turned out to be the abusive alcoholic types. And it was a hard few years for my mom, I'm sure, and really hard for me because, you know, like I said, they were abusive. It wasn't nice, guys. So when I was about 10 uh, or 11, my mom met this guy. His name was Ramon, and they ended up getting married really fast. Like, after just a few months, and that really didn't sit well with me. Um, to this day, I don't really get along with Ramon the best. My mom and him are still married, which, to be honest, it like I don't have anything really personally against him. I mean, we have had altercations that have gotten really physical, which sucks. But now that I'm big enough that no guy can really you know, treat me like a little kid. I'm big enough and strong enough that I can say, hey, no, and just bitch slap him. Um, uh, but, it devastated me that my mom married this guy without even talking to me first or my sisters. I have two half sisters, um, which don't worry, they will be featured later. And it broke my heart, to see my mom. And she seemed so happy at first. So I kind of dealt with it, and I said, you know, it's for her, and it's selfish of me to ask her not to marry this guy. And so they got married, and my life kind of started to fall apart. It was around this time too that my mom, he lived in Canada. He is Canadian. She went up to visit him and left me alone with my sister. Now, this is a terrible idea. First of all, my sister um, is not very smart. She's kind of an idiot. I'll say that. Um, but she ended up just like I think I was bugging her to do something with me, and she ended up just beating the shit out of me, like to the point where my whole body was so swollen that I couldn't even like I could barely open my eyes, and she immediately was like that typical abusive person where as soon as they're done they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Here, let me help you. Oh man, that was so weird. How'd that happen?" And so she immediately shoved me in a cold shower, made me sit in there for I don't know, like 30 minutes, try and get the swelling to go down. It didn't work. I was from head to toe black and blue, just absolutely swollen, and I looked like I had gotten mugged. And my sister told me, she's like, you can have all the whipped cream you want. Because when I was a kid, I used to do this thing with like the whipped cream bottle. I'd put it in my mouth and just have like whipped cream in my mouth. I don't know. I don't even like whipped cream anymore, but she was like, "You can have all the whipped cream you want if you don't tell mom." I was like, "All right, sounds like a deal. That sounds amazing. You like good. I'll take this deal." And obviously, my mom came home. My sister literally didn't try and hide it. She just made me put on normal clothes and like from head to toe. I'm not joking, you guys. Not head to toe, but everything from the waist up was swollen and bruised, and she thought that just like a t-shirt would cover this, and I had two black eyes, like my lip was split open and like swollen, and you know, I my mom was mad, but she didn't really punish my sister, which that stuck with me. For it does to this day. That haunts me, and I don't know um why nothing was done about that. And my mom, when I was younger, was borderline very abusive. Like I've always been a really tough and strong kid, and she used to just beat the shit out of me with anything she could find. One time she took my signed hockey stick that was signed by most of the people on the Calgary Flames. I used to love hockey when I was a kid. One of those stepdads that she married was a professional hockey player for the Calgary Flames. I don't even know how they met, but she took the hockey stick and hit me with it so hard that it snapped. Um, and her favorite thing to do used to be like grabbing a hanger and hitting me because it would leave these terrible marks. And I was a little bitch, so I would cry and cry and cry. I mean, up until the point where I was like 9 years old, I was crying and I wasn't fighting back. Um, and I wasn't crying because it hurt. I noticed I was crying just because I felt like my mom had abandoned me, and it wasn't cool. I'll say that. And then, once she married Ramon, I started to get bigger. And one of these times, she went to like slap me, and I just caught her hand, and I just looked at her, and I said, "No, you're not doing this." Like if I personally, I don't think it's even wrong to hit women. They fought for equality. I'm gonna give it to them. I'll hit you like a man. But I just like snatched her hand out of the air, and I was like, "No, you know what? I'm almost as big as you now, and I'm damn sure I'm stronger than you. So if you ever try and hit me again, I will kill you." Which is probably not the best thing to say. I'm sure my mom became really scared of me, and you know, it's not nice to have your mom scared of you and kind of like just not. It's not good, guys. Don't make your mom scared of you. Don't ever tell your mom if your mom slaps you, don't grab her hand out of the air and like push her and say if she ever does it again, you'll kill her. Not a good idea. Um, and because of this unstable upbringing, and the fact that there's blatant favoritism to my sisters in my household, and the fact that I had received like beatings and stuff, that I went to school and I was highly unstable, like to the point where still I'm a little insane now, but back then, dude, I don't. I honestly, I'm scared of what I used to be. You guys don't understand. I used to have a red mohawk. Okay, I used to have my ears pierced, and this is in like sixth grade. Have ears pierced. I would wear, like, I looked terrifying. I looked like someone who would rip your jugular out with my teeth. Um, and I ended up getting in a lot of fights, which was never fun. And you know, I fought most of the time. The sad thing is I fought because if somebody said like, "Oh, your mom," something, I would just punch him in the face, and then my mom would come and I'd try and explain to her, and nope, I just get a beating and then grounded, and that was not fun. And so I'd say right around, yeah, actually at my end of the seventh grade year, I ended up getting my worst fight, which, and by worst I mean most violent, and I think it had just been a combination of like a really hard school year, a terrible home life, with like abuse and stuff like that, and bullies. I used to get bullied a lot. I don't even know why. I was cool as shit, but this guy stole my shoe. I was like, no, you bring my shoe back right now. I will kill you. And he was like, oh yeah, whatever. I chased this kid down through the hallway with one shoe on. Okay, when I caught up to him, I slammed him against a wall. He bit my hand, which really made me mad. Like my hand was bleeding and swollen from where he bit it. So I grabbed him around the throat and I picked him up and slammed him on the ground, WWE style. And I may have kicked him once or 8 times. And I took my shoe back, put it on. I was like, "Yeah, bitch," and like do do what normal middle school kids do, which is run to my next class and pretend like nothing happened. And I got called to the office, and like I had gotten such a reputation for fighting that literally they would bring me in and be like, "You are getting suspended." Um, like you are getting suspended. And this time, luckily, he didn't have any marks on him that were visible, and like you couldn't see that I grabbed him around the throat or anything, which was good for me. Um, and So my mom took me out of regular school and put me in online school. And I was in online school for 2 years, my eighth grade year and my freshman year, and those were two pretty good years. I was struggling in math, which is not my favorite class. I can do it very well. I can be a straight A student if I want to, but I get bored with math, and then I'm like, oh, video games, oh, YouTube, oh, Twitter, nice. Like that's kind of how my day went when I was online schooling. And this last school year, my mom decided that I was going to be on going to regular school, which terrified me. And not for reasons you'd think. I'm a black belt. That's how I found. That was my outlet, martial arts. So I'm a black belt in two different martial arts: Kempo karate and Taekwondo. And I'm an avid MMA fighter, a pretty good one too. And I was terrified that if I went to this new school and being 15 and 16 and in high school, if you get in a fight and brutally beat someone, you are going to get arrested. And I knew if I got arrested, my mom would not help me. So uh, that's why I was scared, and I played it off like I was just scared to go to a new school, but I was terrified that somebody was going to bully me, and I was going to have like PTSD, or I don't know. I was just going to like a flashback to all those bullying days and just say, no, this is not happening again, and like just absolutely annihilate this guy, whoever it would be. Luckily, that didn't happen. I actually had a fairly uneventful school year. I just breezed right through. I got good grades in all my classes. I made quite a few friends. Not too many friends, and not like so little friends that I was kind of that weird kid, or not weird, but it was like weird that I only had 3 friends. I had 4 to 5 friends in every class period, which was really cool. And we hung out, and by the end of the year, we were like best friends. We were skipping class and going places and stuff. And it was a good school year. But I just can't do public school. I don't agree with teachers, I don't agree with students, and I don't like the whole system. So um, I'm going back to online school for my junior and senior year, which I'll be completing in 1 year. So I'll be graduating a year early. And after that, I don't know what the plan is. I really don't. And that's pretty much my life so far. That's all that's happened, and I'm pretty happy that I covered that in less than 15 minutes. But if you guys enjoyed and you are looking forward to more Real Talk or Black Tuesdays, and don't worry, I'm hoping to keep them to like 8 minutes max. So if this is a little long for you, don't worry. It won't be every time. So I'll talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching. Peace.